You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.
Hey, welcome back to Guitar Talk. I'm Dave.
I am John.
And boy, do we have an exciting number 49 for you today.
We sure do. Today we're going to be talking about Dave's gig.
Yes. But first, I am probably looking to get a bass head. I might do one last gig with this Ashdown head that I have. It's not as clean and as monstrous as I want. I like a brighter sound on the bass. We're doing funk tunes, and I got to tell you, I really enjoy playing bass, especially songs like Street Life by the Crusaders. There's a lot of movement. It's fun. But I enjoy it. I had a good rehearsal today. We had a rehearsal for the gig next week this morning.
Hey, mister, I don't know if you're aware, but this is Guitar Talk. You should peddle your bass wares elsewhere.
This is a bass guitar, though. It's not a upright bass, which is part of the cello family. Cello, we have a bass. So,
really big violin.
I had a gig last night, and it was really funny because this, I get hired to come in, and they basically hire Emily and I to come in, and we sing with this other guy, and he hired a drummer we didn't even know about. So I'm talking to the drummer, and it turns out he's my buddy Al's cousin. Now, Al I've been friends with for 30 years and didn't know he had any cousins. Finds out he's got 1 million of them. So it was really interesting. Fun gig. We did a lot of he calls the gig K-Tel Presents, and we play all the cheesy K-Tel songs. We did How Deep Is Your Love? We did Ambrosia, How Much I Feel? We did As She Lays Sleeping, I Come Home Late at Night and Play My Song. The Kenny Rogers song, She Believes in Me.
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah. So it was a fun gig. We had a lot of fun. The harmonies last night were sounding excellent, and it's just, it's interesting. Obviously, the drummer didn't know a lot of the songs, but he kind of knew them from the radio, and he had that kind of sensibility. But he came to the gig. First of all, the drummer, I guess, saw us the month prior and was like, "You got to get me on this gig. These songs, the way you guys play." So I guess the guy who runs the gig is like, "Yeah, I'm going to bring you on." So he brings him on, and the kid brings a list of songs as suggestions for us if we want to do them. He knows these songs really well. And I said, "You know who else knows these songs really well? Everybody. Because every band plays these fucking songs, and this is the exact opposite of what the fuck we do."
Yeah, it was top 40 sort of stuff.
Oh my God. It was just like Sweet Home Alabama. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You came to Chris and you said to him, "You love the stuff we're doing, the fucking radio nostalgia shit. You want to play with us." So we let you play with us, and you come up to us with a fucking list of the lamest asshole songs that every band plays. And I just can't understand why every band goes out and plays the same set list. Now, I understand, as you brought up earlier, and I've also agreed or acquiesced. Occasionally, you're gonna have to do the song like "You Shook Me All Night Long."
Right.
But "You Shook Me All Night Long," even though being a fan favorite and overplayed to death, it's still a fucking great song. Sure. It's a great record. It's a great song. There's no way about it.
So after you dressed this guy down, you were clearly like, "Here's the contract."
After I yelled at him and belittled him for 20 minutes, I said, "You guys ready to do Sweet Home Alabama?"
Right, exactly.
No, he was just like, he was a nervous wreck.
You guys do Peaches and Herb?
No, Reunited.
How about Peaches and Regalia?
Exactly. That one I like to do. So, the funny thing is so he was extremely nervous, and he was like, "I just figured any one of those songs would have got the cobwebs off me, and I wouldn't be so nervous." And my response was like, yeah, just don't be nervous. Like, who cares? We're not playing crap, so you cannot be nervous. I could give a shit. I'm like, this is a goof of a gig. We're out here fucking playing songs. Sometimes Chris will call off a song and I'm like, I don't know it. He goes, can you figure it out? I'm like, give me a minute. I'm like, all right, let's try it. We don't care. It's much more of like it's this whole thing with the acoustic, we treat like a campfire scenario where somebody in the crowd goes, hey, what about the, you know what I mean? And they get it. And I even say in the beginning, whatever you do, this is going to feel like we're around a campfire. Keep your mouth shut. We're not playing any requests.
Ah.
And of course, they don't. But
Do you guys play that Wings song? Love, take me down to the streets.
that's not Wings.
That's a great campfire scene.
So
if
I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me that, I'd have enough to play a game of Pac-Man.
Yeah, 5.
That's very.
I guess 5 nickels, 5 times over. When she starts explaining how to get to 25, I was dying. It's so stupid.
The movie we're talking about is called Role Models, and it's fantastic.
It's very
Sturdy Wings. You love Sturdy Wings.
I do. Because every now and then, we all need sturdy wings.
Yes, it's great. And it features Christopher, whatever his last name is, who played McLovin.
Christopher Mintz-Plasse, something.
So I was at Jerry's Deli, that's in Woodland Hills, when they were open, and he was sitting at the booth next to me.
Who was? Oh, McLovin.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was I was wearing a Patriots shirt, but he started talking to me about sports. Turns out his father was from Worcester, and he's a big Boston sports fan.
Oh, okay.
But he was a good kid. We had a fun conversation about it. But yeah, it's a great movie. But anyways, I don't understand that. I'm curious to see, maybe people in the comments, how many people get nervous for a gig? I don't think I've gotten nervous for a gig other than when I was in the Lil Abner play when I was in 6th grade.
I think it's a very common thing people get. I don't know why. It might also, I don't know. I would love to say I wonder if it's like because this guy was new or something. But it's from the sounds of it, he wasn't new.
No, but I know a lot of people that get very anxious. In fact, when anytime I've played in a band, people are always in the back, like before we go on, warming up. And I've had people ask me, how come you don't like warm up before you go on? I'm like, what? I'm having a conversation. I'm totally not caring. I mean, if you do the homework and you go up like you're prepared, I mean, even if you're not, do you care? The people are with you.
Yeah.
And I'm just very comfortable on stage that I never worry about it. It's not something that happens. But I do notice it's random between different people. Some people get very nervous.
We have purposely kind of loaded the front half of our set with some easier songs to play.
Oh yeah.
So we don't have to jump into song number 1 being 190 beats a minute with a complicated solo, because then you'd need to warm up. But...
Exactly. And when we played the Big Angry, that was like by song 3 or 4 was the complicated stuff, and before that, also you don't want to go out and melt face in song number 1. I mean, that's like the Yngwie Malmsteen / Peter North method of just getting out there and blowing your load. Thank you.
Oh, man.
And folks, by Peter North, I do mean Al Brown. Thank you. I find it very, it's just very foreign to me. And it's more like, but have you experienced like being on stage with somebody who is nervous? Because at that point, then I think a lot of the work you're doing is calming that other person down. It's like, I'm not even thinking about the gig. I was just thinking about, hey, listen, relax. It's going to be an easy gig. We're here to have fun. If you can't have fun, then get that. No. But, for the most part, it's just something Yeah.
You know what's funny? Gary Spinrad would be nervous before every single show.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was a wreck before every show.
Yeah. And that's
I
interesting to me
never
because he's
understood why.
very prepared.
Yeah.
Well, I do
Goes
understand
out and kills it every time he does it too, and I never understood it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just some people get it. I don't know.
But he's got a whole shtick, and so I can kind of see he's also nervous for maybe the other people performing well because it's under his name. But I mean, I don't know. I honestly have a hard time rationalizing what's to get nervous about. And I guess some people are not comfortable in front of people, and um, yeah, it's strange to me. But anyway, so that's what I dealt with, and then in the middle of the show. By the way, this is a brilliant segue. In the middle of the show, I had to go to an electric guitar. They brought a Line 6 amp. It was like, I don't know what model Spider it was, but it looked somewhat digital as well, like it had a screen on it. I didn't really look at it much, but I turned it on and I dialed some knobs, and I was able to get an excellent tone out of this thing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was like I'm playing guitar with a drummer and a singer and another guitar player and with a bass player, and I was getting some excellent sounds. Surprisingly, I think you can get something good out of anything really when it comes down to brass tacks.
They say tone is in the hands.
That's what they say.
They do.
But yeah,
Grover Jackson says tone is a sum total of all of the parts. So there's that. And then some people say tone is in your tube amp. Or your...
Yeah, that's not true. I mean, you can like a tube amp and you can like the way it responds, but do you think that it matters?
Maybe the tone is in the tone plastic.
That's what it comes down to.
Right.
No, but if you think about it, do you think it matters? Like take Yngwie. Thank you. Okay. Take Yngwie for a second. Do you think if he played a Squire going through a Line 6 and he sat and dialed it in for a few minutes and then played a couple of his songs, do you think you would sit there and say, that sounds like Yngwie, but the tone stinks?
Maybe.
Or would you say, no. You wouldn't. You'd be like, that sounds like fucking Yngwie.
I'd say, hold on, let me try and redial this for you a little bit. I don't think you did a great job. Redial a little bit. Yeah, it's a little better. All right.
Right. The biggest proof of this was Billy Gibbons years ago going out with the 11 rack, and then whatever amp company was up his ass, he would put them on stage to look like he was playing those amps, but he was playing out of 11.
The 11 rack sounds really good. I've got one.
Yeah.
It's a very good sounding unit. For all the modelers that are out there, this is my... Excuse me, I got a Coke burp going there. It's my favorite... I think it's my favorite that I've had. I like it better than the Helix in terms of overall sound. I think it feels more natural. There's something about it. It's good. Anyway, speaking of Yngwie and his tone, I'm not a big jazz guy. Yaz, as some might refer to it.
You gonna play some Yaz?
I'm fucking not. No, but you ever heard of these guys called Marbin? Marbin. Israeli guy named Danny Rabin playing guitar. Guy's a ripper. The reason I bring it up is not because I'm a newfound jazz fanatic or anything of that sort, but he has one thing going for him that I've never heard from other jazz guitar players. He has good guitar tone.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a very, very intriguing point. I always kind of liked Alan Holdsworth tone, which is very much not a traditional jazz tone. And another one of my favorites was Wayne Krantz, who had his first solo album was unbelievable tone. That Strat going into that amp, whatever it was, I think it was like a Princeton, but just phenomenal.
You think about the Mike Stearns and John Schofields of the world, and it's just, and Pat Metheny and all these guys, and you're just like, ugh. Can somebody please turn turn off the chorus pedal. It's like,
Right.
God
And
damn
and
it.
and disconnect the fucking capacitor to that tone knob because you're using too much of it. Yeah, they like that underwater sound.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. I don't really care for jazz guitar. I would rather hear if somebody was going to say to me, "You can listen to any jazz record." I would rather listen to like sax or piano or trumpet. I mean, I loved Freddie Hubbard. I loved John Coltrane's records. I loved Bill Evans. I'd rather listen to that than hear a guy play a guitar solo.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Jazz has never been my thing. And this is kind of, I don't know. I guess this is kind of like fusion or whatever you want to call it. But he has much more of like a rock tone to his guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
There is a saxophone player, and they play a lot of very, very fiery, like dual lead parts together, and it's pretty good. I gotta say, I've made it through the whole album quite a few times.
And just so we're clear, you understand Iron Maiden is not a jazz band, right?
Damn it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, jazz is one of those things, and people are funny because how many times do people say, or like, I love jazz, or I love this. You know what I love? I love what's good. And not all jazz is good. And not all country is good. If you listen to like any of the new country artists, it's a lot of dreck. I mean, Brad Paisley's making new stuff, and I enjoy his stuff. But I mean, if you look at the older country, I like it a lot more. I think the writing was better. And then the same would go for like the singer-songwriter stuff. I'd rather listen to James Taylor and Jackson Brown than I would care to listen to some of the newer guys.
Speaking of horns, I think I'm going to start listening to a lot more Zydeco.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to start getting into the sounds of Louisiana.
A great album. Buckwheat Zydeco.
Okay.
I think the name of the record is called On a Night Like This.
All right. So last night, I went to the Little Jewel of New Orleans, which we've talked about once before on this program.
Oh, we have?
Yeah. This is the second time that I've been there this year, and it's a revelation. That's the greatest sandwich place in Los Angeles. It's the best. It's unreal. Again, po' boys and crayfish or crawfish if you're from down there, and that whole thing. It's just fantastic. Had me a blackened catfish po' boy.
Mm-hmm.
It was phenomenal. Best sandwich I ever had in my life.
And what was in that sandwich?
Blackened catfish, some sort of a slaw mix that they put in, some peppers, some pickles, some sort of sauce of sorts. I don't know, something kind of white, probably a mayo-based sauce, and in a French roll that is just lovely. What a lovely French roll!
I'm really surprised. I'll tell you why. I went to New Orleans about 2000 and let's call it 2002 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Titch used to live down there.
Okay.
And he tells me one day, you got to go to this restaurant. They have the best jambalaya, the best gumbo. It is the greatest of New Orleans. So we're all like this, rubbing our hands together. We go. I take a couple of bites, and I'm like, Norm's is better.
Well,
Did you know what I said?
I
Norm's.
totally heard what you said, but you can never discount the fact that Titch is Australian.
Oh, agreed. Oh, no. He's a complete shithead when it comes to food. It's like, you know what? I'll listen to you when it comes to horse racing, but never on food ever again. He's out of his mind. Right. Because seriously, I was like, this is terrible. And so I'm excited to hear in LA there is a good New Orleans place.
Yeah, the place is great. I was talking to the owner last night because he was there. And they've been exposed, I guess, 2 times now on the Guy Fieri's show. And
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
they're
where are they? Where is this?
It's right on the outskirts of Chinatown. It's like I couldn't tell you the name of the street without looking back at the Google map.
On the outskirts of
But
Chinatown. So you're
it's
talking all the way
right
over
by.
by like Philippe's?
It's like a block away from Philippe's,
Okay, great.
and it's fantastic.
Right outside of Chavez Ravine,
Ooh,
where the LA Dodgers this Saturday will be playing the. No, I don't know.
Dodgers are on fire this year. You're listening to What Happened on Sports This Weekend Talk with Dave and John. Speaking of sports, the Lions won again today. They're currently undefeated. The Detroit Lions.
Really?
2-0
3-0,
and 1.
huh?
2-0-1.
Oh, 2-0-1. They had a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Which
Patriots.
they should have won. They blew it. Who did the Pats play this week?
The Jets.
Okay. So that's a guaranteed win.
Yeah. And it was too stupid. The only reason the Jets scored was two stupid plays. But
what was the score today?
30-14.
They're blowing out everybody this season.
It was 30-0, and if you saw the touchdowns, it was like the score really to me was 30-0. They took Brady out, they put another guy in, he threw an interception, and that was a touchdown. And then there was a kickoff return that the guy touched the ball, the other guy jumped on it in the end zone.
That's unbelievable. They're so good that 3 games into the season, they're already putting in their replacements to make sure that they get reps. They're like 30 points ahead, and they're like, we ought to put the backup in for a little while, let them get some reps just in case. You never know.
Yeah.
What team does that? 3 games into the regular season with confidence. You can't do that. That was awesome. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah. What are the chances, if they stay healthy, what are the chances they go undefeated?
That would be unbelievable because they almost did it once, and then they got knocked out in the Super Bowl by the Giants. But
it's ridiculous that they can have the sort of track record that they have. It's whatever. Anyway, they're phenomenal. The Lions are doing okay. The Chargers are losing every game, which I love. I've always had this odd sort of dislike for Phillip Rivers. Folks, you are not listening to Sports Talk Radio. This is Dave and John, and we are just sidetracked because I had excellent food, and Dave's talking about base gear.
Yeah.
Sports is the next logical thing. Politics up next.
Have you seen there's a video of John 5 playing one of Paul Stanley's Ivan as Iceman?
No.
It's a terrible sounding guitar. It sounded, I don't know what was going on with it really was. It was like underwater sounding, and he was fiddling with the knobs, and the guy who was showing him the guitar was like, all the knobs do nothing. The output jack is the pickup to the volume pot, and that's it. The bridge pickup to the volume pot. Everything else is just for aesthetics of the instrument.
Oh, okay.
Paul doesn't switch pickups.
Okay.
And he doesn't use a tone knob.
Right. He dances a lot, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that's pretty clever because if you're playing in a hard rock band, how often is it, unless you're playing lead, how often is it you need to switch to a neck pickup?
If you're playing lead, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're playing lead, but if you're not playing lead,
right. Yeah, I don't use one. I have a single pickup guitar, just I do throw the switch on that thing to turn it to a single coil often.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Not with distortion though.
Sometimes if I want a strattier sound.
Really? We see that guitar right behind you now. It's got the
right, it's got one pickup.
Yeah, what's the logo on the headstock?
Uh-huh.
What's the logo? It looks like white.
It's just silver paint, silver marker paint marker or whatever.
What does it say? Anything? Oh, it's your signature or something?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Oh, okay. It's hard to see right here. It looks blurry and whatnot, but yeah.
It says Leo Fender.
Leo.
Handmade. Man, I got to get down to Ron Moreno. That guitar's done. It's been done for a week.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get out of the office and go and grab it.
Now, what does this guitar again tell us, because we don't remember?
It's a G and L ASAT special in black.
With the bigger pickup. So it has the MFD P90 looking pickup.
That is correct, yes.
It's black, and I believe you said it had a black pick guard.
Yep, black on black.
Rosewood fingerboard.
Fourth focus mids, yep.
Yep.
And
Cocobolo tuners.
Right. Stainless frets.
Nice.
What else did I do? I can't remember what else. I don't even know. But yeah, I'm supposed to pick that thing up like a week ago. I called him. Yeah, I want to get it, but I called him on Friday and I said, I should, let me rephrase that. I said earlier in the week I'm going to be down there on Friday to get it. And then Friday shows up. I have the dealer that I'm going to go and visit cancels. And right, and I'm like, Ron, I got to get down there, but I don't think I can get down there today. Does it put you in a position if I do it next week? And he's like, no, man, that's cool. So he's being nice about it, but I really do got to get down there.
Yeah. I don't think it puts him in a position. He doesn't care.
NDG. No, NGD. New Guitar Day.
Yeah.
And I'm putting off New Guitar Day. Good God.
That'll be exciting, though. I mean, it's always fun getting a new guitar. It's a great sounding pickup on that thing.
I get down there.
People who are watching the show are like, just go down there. And it's only 45 minutes away. Yeah, 45 minutes, but with traffic, that's 4 hours. That's a 4-hour excursion.
Right. And with traffic, I mean with lunch.
Right.
Go down there, spend some time with Ron, do the,
Now, there is a Mexican restaurant.
Obligatory hang. Yes, there is.
And have you gone in there? It is very odd where, like, the waitresses all look like they're 15, wearing way too much makeup, and they look like they don't speak a lot of English.
I don't know. We did go to a taqueria when I was down there, but I don't remember what. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Let's put it this way.
It was good, though.
I went to a place where I was uncomfortable. How the women were dressed. They're walking around in like satin, tight shorts. And you almost feel like you're at a strip club or a Hooters at first. And you're like, what the hell is going on here? It's very bizarre.
This feels like a Hooters, but none of these chicks have tits.
Right. No, it was really weird because I was just like, what the hell business is this? And like the girl would come over and ask me how everything was. She had braces. They looked like she just came over here and her English was not very good. And I was like, did I see you on Avenue de Revolution a couple of weeks ago?
That's not good.
I'm just telling you, it is a very bizarre experience. Whatever this restaurant is called, I can't even remember. But it's around the corner from G&L.
I'm gonna need the name of this restaurant.
You are gonna need the name. You're not gonna want to go. You will go in and you'll be like, I can't believe he ate here. It doesn't even look like it could pass any codes.
It's like a taqueria / massage parlor.
Right, exactly. That's what it felt like.
Man, what a business that would be.
Yeah.
By the way, I love when you've got like a double duty business that makes no sense. Like,
oh yeah,
Tom's locksmithing and lingerie.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
like, what? What's going on here? There's a few of those. Yeah,
Tom breaks into some woman's house. She's like, who are you and how did you get in here? I'm the locksmith. And I'm the locksmith. That's from The Naked Gun.
Man.
Well, Police Squad, the TV show.
This is a funny, brief little topic. This guitar business is funny. We've got a lot of shops that are not strictly guitar shops. Get a lot of guys with money that want to open a shop, and they don't know exactly. They just want to do what they liked when they were kids. So you get these guys that open up comic books and guitars, or guns and guitars is a common one. I've seen that all over the northern Rocky Mountain area of the country. Like you get like Bizarre Guitars and Guns in Reno, which is a huge one. Bizarre Guitars is amazing. But then there's like a couple of them in Montana that are just like that as well.
And I don't know if it's because, and this might just be my own guessing, because I know a place in LA called Alamo Guitars. A lot of these places start off as as pawn shops.
Mm.
And then they delve into becoming dealers and everything else.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
And then you have places like Alva's Music, which was a dance shop / guitar shop.
Right. There was one called Hell Creek Guitars in Hell Creek, Montana. That was a guitar shop / comic book store / they sold dinosaur digs.
Wow.
How weird is that one?
Yeah,
they're out there. Guitar and Pharmacy. Seen that one? Yeah.
You know what I'd like to do is open up a huge boutique, like real expensive guitar shop, and also do divorces. Because there I'm doing both things at the same time.
Absolutely fantastic. That's funny. You're like a family attorney / guitar shop.
Right.
Yeah, dig it.
Woman comes in, I'd like to file a divorce. Really? Why is that? Well, my husband bought a really expensive guitar. Well, it took you long enough. I sold it to him 3 weeks ago.
Right.
I was expecting had a slow month. I've been expecting you for a while.
Right, exactly. That's funny. So what's going on with the yellow hat? Let's talk about the yellow hat for a minute.
It's just a baseball hat. It's got the golds. It's a gold hat, not so much yellow. But it's got the golds. Get Jim Guy. I don't know. I bought it in Venice years ago.
Oh, that's an oldie.
Yeah, it's a Gold's Venice hat, probably from like 2006 or 7.
All right. What's the gym situation up there in Mass? Are you still a Gold's member? I'm assuming
I go to
there.
LA Fitness.
Ooh. And how's that treat?
Horrible. That place stinks.
I have an LA Fitness membership that I don't use. If you can't tell.
Really? Now, where is the one near you? Is it still over? Did they reopen one in Marina Del Rey?
It's kind of Marina Del Rey. It's like Jefferson and Lincoln. I think they call it Playa.
Playa Vista, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I need to use they open that.
I need to use it more. I remember now.
Awful. Awful, folks. You know how much I hate Operation Mindcrime references.
I don't think we've ever talked about Queensryche on this program, have we?
No. But let me say this, though, before we do. I did a show the other day on my channel where I talked about guitar players that influenced me and whatnot. And then I was going to come up with an idea of doing the worst guitar solos of all time. Not that they're bad solos, but they're just poorly in the song. In the song, they don't really fit. Or they could be just bad solos. It's hard, because then I was trying to rack my brain. What solo? The one I could think of was Heading Out to the Highway by Judas Priest. It is like such a great song with one of the most uneventful guitar breakdowns ever.
Okay.
It's a snoozer. It's like, come on.
Well, that's like literally every Yngwie song ever written. Like, it's like shit song, solos in there. It doesn't matter how good the solo is because it's just surrounded by trash.
Right, but that's the opposite. That's where I'm talking about, where's a good song, and then you hear the solo and you're like, what the hell were they thinking that they it's hard to come up with because it's not common. So you really have to get somewhat subjective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Operation Mindcrime has some.
Oh, every song on that record stinks.
What is it? The Needle Lies. It's a crappy guitar
That
solo.
record is so horrendous. It's just so cheesy. I don't understand what they were thinking.
I liked it when I was a kid, therefore I still kind of
Oh,
like it
no, of
today.
course. So, I mean, when it came out, everyone was like, oh, this is great. I loved Rage for Order, so I went into that album already going, it's not as good as Rage. And then when I was hearing the story, Mary, it's like, oh, come on. I remember.
How does the lyric go in that song? In the wooden chair beside my window.
Oh, awful. You know what, though? I think most solos, I could almost throw every solo that has a wah on it into the worst solos because I just do not like that effect. Except in the song "Like a Fire Needs a Spark to Turn Up the Night" by Black Sabbath. Might be the only song I enjoy a wah pedal. Otherwise, I just don't really care for the wah.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. I still don't have one. I've
You know what might be
years.
what's that? What's that song by Pearl Jam? "Alive," where they steal the 5-1 solo by the Doors. Down, 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 down. Yeah,
Don't know.
it's great. It's great in 5-1. "Alive," I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard to think of it though. You have to dig to think like what's bad.
Looking for a solo that stinks. Yeah, it's hard to say. I can think of a lot of solos that are good. Thinking of a solo that stinks is an interesting challenge.
It's hard.
And it's got to be in a good song, an otherwise good song.
Right, exactly.
That's
Context.
the
It's like,
well, put it out there to the crowd. I'm curious if anybody's got one. I mean, God, I'm gonna have to sit and think about it. I have no idea. Like I said, that one Queensryche solo stands out immediately. That one stinks, but yeah, I don't know.
and what's going on with Queens right now? There's two bands. What Jeff Tate's got his. Is it like
Nobody
they're
cares.
they're like a 50s band where everybody in the band, the original band, is going to leave and they're all going to have their own version of Queensryche.
Right.
Someone's going to be like, I saw Queensryche at the Meadowlands. How the hell did you see them there? I saw them on a cruise that week.
Right,
What?
exactly. Michael Wilton's Queensryche, Chris DeGarmo's Queensryche.
Right. Scott Rockenfeld's Queensryche.
Yeah, the only one that's not allowed to have it is Jeff Tate. They're
Right.
they're like, fuck you. He's got Jeff Tate's Operation Mind Crime or something else. He's not allowed to have it.
Is he really not allowed to use it?
No, I don't think so. I think he has to use Jeff Tate of Queensryche. I think there's a stipulation that he can't actually have the name.
Right. Unbelievable. Oh, I thought he was using the name. Well, everyone in the band has a different is going out as Michael Wilton of Queensryche.
Yeah, I don't know. They have I felt like even for me, like when I was coming up and like getting really involved in music, I feel like they were already done. I think Operation Mind Crime and then Empire, Empire came on what, 90 or 91?
Yeah, a 90, I think. But Empire
So-
I enjoyed more than Mind Crime.
So I mean, either way, I was just a kid, and by the time I was like 12 or 13, they were done. They were totally done. Because what they have after that, they had like that bridge song that was awful.
Terrible.
They put that on the radio
Something
for a
with his
minute.
father, something dad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Stinks.
so bad.
Yeah.
It is so bad.
And that was the last thing I think they got on the radio. And they were done. And they made way for
if I was
Soundgarden.
gonna go work for Sessions Presents, I'd do the Sessions Presents the songs they wish they never put out. That Queensryche song. Rat
Great
doing
one.
Way Cool Jr.
Sure. Billy Squire doing Rock Me Tonight.
Oh, right. There's a lot of them.
Poor Billy Squire. He would have had a longer career if it wasn't for him agreeing to do that video with Kenny Ortega.
The thing about that though is the album before it, Emotions in Motion, was just okay.
Well, yeah, but you
And
still had a mega hit on that. Everybody wants you.
oh yeah,
Na, na,
She's a
na,
Runner's a
na, na.
great tune on that
Yeah.
album.
It wasn't as good as
Emotions,
the first.
Emotions, another great tune.
Well, what's the album called? Don't Say No,
Oh, it's
which
fantastic.
is every single song is perfect and like
It's
three
great.
quarters of them are hits,
Yeah,
right?
great
But
album.
I mean, yeah, but that Rock Me Tonight, dude.
Well, like I said, he was already on the decline, so just to see him on a step on a banana peel to me is expected because
Yeah.
how about this? Take a band like Boston, right? First album, every song is phenomenal.
Hmm?
The next album, what the hell's on it?
I don't even know.
What's that song called? There's a big hit on that album. Oh, Don't Look Back. And then everything else kind of already is a sound alike, but that album did not do well. How many bands put out a humongous album where the follow-up stinks?
Alanis Morissette.
Oh, that first right, exactly.
It's true. I mean, it was her. What was his name? Glenn Ballard or
Yeah, but that
something like
whole
that.
album was "Thank You, Providence, Thank You, Thank You." That was on the album after. It was like, wait, what? Like
Yeah.
you were good, now you don't care.
Yeah.
Boston's first album, Billy Squier's big "Don't Say No" album. One that I was thinking about was, I mean, anytime somebody has a monstrous AC/DC for those about to rock is probably the closest you're gonna find to a band coming out with an album that was still pretty great.
Mm.
But what other band can you think of came up with what's the big album by Metallica? The Black Album.
Right. Yeah. They
What's after
follow
it?
load. They followed it with crap. Yeah.
They blew a load.
Yeah.
That's what that meant.
I mean, uh,
ZZ Top, Eliminator, phenomenal, big success record. The next album, you know what it's called? Fastest to the Cutout Bin. Right there. That thing,
um,
you could go buy Eliminator, and then someone's like, "Yeah, I came home with this one instead." Yeah, you know why it's $3? Because it stinks.
some of the some of those bands like are wait. What are we looking for here? Are we looking for albums that were killer that were followed up?
Colossal big album, like a perfect album, just a great album, perfect record. It's always followed up by a bad album.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's to me in my little world, I look at a colossal, amazing record that's a perfect record. In the metal world, Rust in Peace is a perfect record, but it wasn't a selling record. It's not the same genre, so it doesn't really have mainstream appeal. But Rust in Peace is one of the greatest metal records ever, and it was followed up by Countdown to Extinction, which is freaking awesome.
Which to
So,
me, people would probably consider their best album,
uh,
Countdown.
some people, yeah, some.
Yeah.
I
But
hear
again, it
I hear
wasn't the
in that community.
colossus
No,
success.
it's that's what I
So
was
they go
saying.
into the next album
Don't
still
play the same
hungry.
thing. Now, what about okay? So Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak
Mhm.
is pretty freaking good. It's as
Great.
close to a perfect album as anything. And I don't know what the next album is. I need to know the timeline there, but they did a record with Gary Moore that was
Black Rose.
the Black Rose record. That's got some great stuff on it too.
I think that's a record or two past that. That's like
Yeah,
70.
yeah, I think that's what I was saying. I don't know the timeline.
But it's still, when we talk about Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak album, great album, but three songs are all we're talking about here, as opposed to like it's not
You mean in
like
terms of hits? I get. Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, in terms of accessibility and the bigger fans are going to go in and love that record. But I'm
Right.
talking about like when Boston came out, every one of those songs got its turn on the radio. Peter Gabriel's "So" is a phenomenal album, but he took his time. 5 years later, or
He
6 years later,
releases another phenomenal album.
I think it's very good.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's very good.
Peter Gabriel's definitely he was
But
smarter.
after
He was smarter with his approach.
right, but after Us,
Took his
the
time.
album Up is not very good at all.
Yeah.
And is it because they're hitting their stride and their windows closing for when they're going to be good, or is it just
Yeah, because I mean, he was good for a long time.
they blew their nut? It's a hard thing because how come bands are capable of coming out and saying AC/DC, for instance, Highway to Hell? For all intents and purposes, that's almost a perfect album. Probably as close to one as you're going to get.
Right.
They
So
beat it with Back in Black.
an even more perfect album. Yeah, it's crazy.
They go from an album that's a 10 back down to an 8. Okay, but then the next album's a 9. It's nutty.
Yeah.
They had something. Oh, don't get me wrong. They've been putting out nothing but garbage since 1985.
Of course.
Since Fly on the Wall, they've been choking chickens, but it's terrible. I mean, what's that one called? Rock or Bust? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take Bust.
Yeah, no, it's How about Foreigner? Say about Foreigner. First record. Excellent.
Fantastic. A 9 for a breakout album, a 9. Double Vision, a 10. Head Games, an 8.
Okay, so that's a band that also was able
Far
to
and a 4,
launch
a 6.
right. Unless you're a female in the 1980s.
Well, there's 4 songs on that record, and that's like, and 3 of them are garbage.
Know what love is.
That's some provocateur.
Oh, it is? That's not on 4?
4 has
Oh.
I've been waiting.
Ooh, I like that song.
Yeah. Waiting for a Girl Like You. It had Urgent, Jukebox
Urgent.
Hero, Luann.
So you're telling me it had a shitload of hits?
Yeah, but they were horrible. They were like,
Doesn't. I mean,
they were a hard rock band, and they
Yeah.
became a hard schlock band. I mean, they became schlocky on that record. In fact, it was done on purpose. The reason they called it Far and a 4 was not only wasn't it the 4th album, they also cut the band down from 6 to 4 because they were going to go to a lighter sound. And what's his name was not happy about that, Lou Gramm.
Mm.
You're listening to the light, easy sounds of Foreigner. They've given you such soft, easy hits as Cold as Ice, Head Knocker, Double Vision, Hot Blooded. It's like, come on, they were a good rock band.
endless hits though.
Bad Company. First album out of the gate, phenomenal. Second album, Straight Shooter, is a toilet.
I think we talked about Bad Company last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
We can never talk enough Bad Company.
they don't have enough material that really was good. They just
No,
don't.
no, they do. No, they really do.
What, they have enough good material? They have one
They
album.
No. First of all, Desolation Angels from '79, all of side 1 is fantastic. Burning Sky has 1 song. Run with the Pack has about 5 great songs. The second album there, Straight Shooter, has 3 good songs. And I even like the songs on Electric Land. Painted Face and Electric Land I like. I think they were a good band. And I think they could have been better. They were like, I don't know if it's lazy. I don't know what it is, but how do you put out a first album that's every song is great? And then they're like, hey, remember how that first album didn't really have any filler?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start putting a lot of filler on our stuff. How do they not know it?
I always hear, you always hear people say, like, it's because I had a lifetime to create my first record and I only had a year to create my second one.
Yeah, but they didn't, because Bad Company really was off the nuts of Free. Like, Free broke up, and Jimmy Page was like, why don't you guys do it again? And they put a band together, kind of rush haphazardly. 2 weeks later, they have the album Bad Company. wasn't like they were working on that album forever. He already had All Right Now and Wishing Well and uh, Fire and Water.
Don't know what to say. Did you send your Wampler pedal back in? By the way, I noticed your T-shirt.
No, I haven't, but I have the thing here filled out. What I didn't do is take it off the board yet, so I can put the serial number down and then send you the files. You have to give me an RA, right?
Yeah.
I have to send you this paperwork back, and then you're gonna. So I'll send it to you tomorrow when I take the board apart.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
But yeah. So it's an interesting thing. We'll have to keep on with that. It's like what album was fantastic, and then followed up with an equally good or even better. Could you come up with an album that would? Well, I mean, Highway to Hell is definitely an album where every song. That's a perfect album. I'm gonna go out and say. Highway to Hell's a perfect album.
Girls
And
got rhythm.
Shot Down in Flames, Girls Got Rhythm, Beating Around the Bush, Walk All Over You, Night Prowler.
If You Want Blood.
Oh, If You Want Blood. What a record that was. It's
Incredible.
great. Highway to Hell.
That was Mutt Lange.
Yeah, it was the first one he did, yeah.
Yeah. He had a... Okay, what about... in terms of and now I'm just speaking of in terms of record sales and things like that. How about Hysteria from Def Leppard being followed up by what the hell was it called? Adrenalize. The biggest record of their career followed up by a turd.
Yeah. And what's funny is Pyromania was fantastic too.
Yeah.
That predated.
Now was Mutt Lange involved in all of that stuff? I know that he did. Okay, Pyromania and Hysteria.
Yeah, I do not know if he did Adrenalize. I assume he did, but he's definitely on Pyromania because Ooten Gleeten Glouten Globen was how he used to count the songs in. And that's why they did it on the record as like a nod to him.
I just know that what's his name? Joe Elliott. The vocals. Yeah, Joe Elliott. The production of his vocals is just it's the Mutt Lange production. The Mutt Lange
on Adrenalize?
On Hysteria, you listen to the way it sounds. It has the same sort of treatment as Bryan Adams, as it's pretty much everything Mutt Lange puts his hands on.
Well, except AC/DC.
Right.
Because he did them a lot drier than
Do you want to get racked?
Was that on here we go. Adrenalize came out, 5 years later?
It was like 90 and 91, something like that. I don't know.
It's produced by Mike Shipley. You're right. It's not Mutt Lange.
Okay.
Let's Get Rocked is on it.
Song stinks.
Oh, it stinks, and that's the hit.
Yeah.
Let's see what was on Hysteria.
That had Hysteria, Animal, Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yeah, Armageddon It, Love Bites.
Is
Rocket.
Armageddon It the one where he goes, "Come on, Steve"?
Oh,
my favorite line in all of their songs.
It always reminds me of you. Do you remember Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah.
They're doing a song, and he goes, one mentions Steve, and he goes, Steve.
Right.
It's all mad. Yeah. This was actually, you know what? I might have to say, I think Pyromania is a better record. Let me see Pyromania for a second.
Pyromania was a great record. I think Hysteria sold a lot more copies.
Oh, that's probably for sure. Let me see what this one sold if I have any RIAA things here.
Because I was going to say Pyromania had what did that have Too Late on it? And Photograph on it as well?
Yeah, it went 10 times platinum.
Wow.
Pyromania. Hysteria. If this is up there, wait a second. Here's the United States, 12 times platinum.
Oh, okay. So it only outsold it a little bit. I wonder, because they were talking about being like flat broke in the 80s by the time Hysteria came out, and Hysteria wasn't selling what they thought it was going to at first. Apparently something shifted, and then all of a sudden it blew up, and they finally made money. But even, so it makes me wonder how much Pyromania sold in its initial few years. I think.
Well, what's interesting
Now
is
it's
Journey.
35 years old,
So when Journey did the album Escape in '81, to me that's a perfect album. Let me see how many it sold here in the United States.
What's on that record?
Everything. Hold on, I'll tell you in 1 second. Let me just see if I can find any U.S. chart here. Nine times platinum. It has Don't Stop Believin', Stone in Love, Who's Crying Now, Keep on Running, Still They Ride, Escape, Lay It Down, Dead or Alive, Mother, Father, and Open Arms. Fantastic, right? Frontiers comes out, and let's see what Frontiers sold. Frontiers sold 6 million, 3 million less, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was they changed, the record label got involved and didn't want them to sell that many records. And I don't know why they would think that way. But they were like, let's sell the album on these songs. And they took off Only the Young to put on the Vision Quest soundtrack. That was not what Journey wanted. They wanted it on the album. Ask the Lonely was also supposed to be on that album. When you're feeling down.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Now,
the only thing I can say is now Troubled Child is.
What song did they give to another vocalist that they also did? Was it Only the Young?
What do you mean they gave it to another vocalist?
There's a song that they have that they released and someone else also released.
At the same time or later? Somebody probably just covered it.
No. It was something that happened at the same time. Like they gave them a song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's something to that. Is it Ask the Lonely? No, not Ask the Lonely. What was the song you just said from Vision Quest?
Only the Young.
I wonder if it was that one.
Oh, yeah, it was sold to Scandal.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the Scandal version of it was a flop. And there's something
Journey
to that
paid
story.
them off.
Yeah, there's something to that story where Journey. What did you say? They paid them off to be able to use it themselves again?
No, they paid them because it was at a legal settlement because they sold the song to Scandal for them the right to. When you sell someone a song, it means you're selling somebody the legal right to release it first.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. So.
Yes. And when they do that, nobody can release it for like 6 months. And it looks like when did Frontiers come out? Oh yeah. Wait, let me see when the that song was supposed to be on Frontiers.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
I had no idea about that. I'm gonna go look up the Scandal version.
Here's the biggest news of the week in the guitar world for me. You know what I learned this week? I had no idea my whole entire life. It doesn't matter, but my perception was all wrong. I had no idea that Slash was half white, half black. He's got a black mom. I didn't know that.
Really? A Jewish father, right?
Yeah, I always thought with the name Saul Hudson that he just was a little darker because he was like Middle Eastern descendant or something.
Oh, is his father Jewish too? Because then he has the Lenny Kravitz thing going.
Yeah, no, I don't know if he is or not. I mean,
I looked it up.
His dad was from England, but it doesn't mean that his family didn't come from somewhere else. Yeah, his mother's African American woman. I had no idea. Doesn't mean anything. Not trying to say anything, folks. Just I was surprised to learn it. It really made me made me curious about that whole 1 in a million song that they have. Everybody's going bananas about the fact that they drop an N-bomb in that song. And then I learned that Slash is, half, and I was just kind of like, huh. Interesting.
Oh, it does say Slash was went to high school with Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, no kidding.
Isn't that funny? It does say that he was named after a cartoonist, Saul Steinberg,
Hmm.
who was of Irish descent.
Interesting. That
Yeah,
doesn't sound very Irish.
Templebeth, Ireland.
God.
No. But anyways, I was just curious. And, just saying, the reason why I probably, look at this. He was given the nickname. Oh, are you kidding me?
What?
He was given the nickname Slash by actor Seymour Cassell.
I don't know who that is.
How many cigars have I smoked with Seymour Cassell? You don't know who he is. I'm going to give you the same deal I gave Kitty Carlisle. You remember the movie Stuck on You?
Yeah.
He's their agent, the old guy that you always see him up and down on Main Street.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Oh, he lives right in Santa Monica right there. He's always at the cigar shop.
No kidding.
That's crazy.
He doesn't live there anymore.
Did he pass?
Yeah, April 7th of this year.
Seymour Cassell passed. Wow.
The Carlisle conversation here is something, but did you ever make any moves with that vintage sound amp that you were looking at?
No, not yet.
All right. What's the wait time on one if you order one?
Immediate.
Oh, he has them built. Okay.
They have them built. You can get it. You can order it straight through him. The only other thing that I'm debating on is, do I want him to add more time? Because I love those slow, haunting tremolos, and I've never found a tube tremolo that goes slow enough. And I've talked to him on the phone about it, and he's like, check out my video of the latest one with the tremolo. That's as slow as it goes, and if it's not slow enough, I'll add time. So that might be something I might do.
All right. Speaking of time,
unless a Morgan PR12 shows up at my door.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. AC40 shows up at your doorstep and you go pissy. That's not what I wanted.
Right. The other thing I was going to say was I went to a gun show this weekend. And I'll tell you what I've been enjoying.
Oh, sorry.
The Ruger, the old, it's called the Security 6 by Ruger. It's a revolver.
Okay.
And the Speed 6. So this guy at the show was selling a Speed 6 with a 3-inch barrel that was like made for the U.S. Postal either the inspector or something.
Okay.
It was really nice. And then there was a security one with a 6-inch barrel. I've been thinking about getting myself a wheel gun, old cowboy, big heavy 357.
Looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like a cool revolver.
Yeah,
nice
totally.
Wood grip. Would you go with
the one I want the rubber grips.
The rubber grips, okay.
Yeah, well they don't make them anymore, but you can I don't want to feel anything in my hand. The wood you're feeling too much of. I want it to be more like the Royal Deluxe, where you can circumcise a baby in the back seat. Remember that old SNL commercial, the car? The Royal Deluxe. Perfect.
I don't
All right. On that note, let's call it. I will talk to you soon.
Yes, you shall.
And I'll send you that information.
Okay, good enough.
All right.
All
right, everybody. Have a great one. Have a great week. Very good.
Catch y'all later.
You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.